Hey, what's up, guys? It's me, Luis, coming to you from This Old Vape Shop, and today I have a special guest for you, and his name is
Keith Higgins with Valor Vapor.
Keith motherfucking Higgins from Valor Vapor. If you guys don't know this guy, really cool dude. He's been around in the industry probably just as long as me, if not a little bit longer. I'm not sure if you guys opened up before I did or after I did.
December 2013.
So yeah, a couple months after me.
Okay, yep.
So, because I opened up August 9th, 2013. My lease doesn't start till September, but I got it an extra month.
We're still some of the pioneers, though. Any of the people from 2013?
Yeah, dude, we were the beginning. I mean, you guys were probably, within the first 20 shops in
I think
Arizona, I think.
Yeah. I remember when I was going out doing a little bit of market research, just kind of in the Phoenix Valley. I mean, for what Google pulled up, there was like 15 shops, maybe.
Yeah. Did you ever shop my shop?
I saw it online, but
yeah.
This is still my first time in here. I feel terrible about it.
It's horrible.
I'm glad to finally be in here, though.
Yeah.
He's come to like 3 of my events, and I appreciate him so much.
Yeah, so I have definitely been like, yo, I want to support. I'm going to come out. So I've been to multiple events of his, and this is the first. I had to put on a whole show just to get Keith to come out. All the other ones didn't really matter. I was really just trying to get Keith to come here. So he's here now, though, and he brought beer. Which
I did.
He is the first guest to bring beer, so I'm super excited.
And I know this is Luis's favorite.
It is.
Good old Coors Light.
Cold Coors Light. It's the quickest way to my heart. It really, really is, man. So I wanted to talk a little bit about, because I know I messaged you, and I said it in the kind of commercial I did for this, we were doing here on Saturday. You guys have really, with your shops, you guys got how many shops now? 5?
4.
4 shops.
Yep.
And where are they at?
We have one off the I-17 in Thunderbird, one in Tempe on Kyrene and Warner down by the IKEA,
right?
One in Gilbert off Cooper and Warner, and then the newest one is all the way out in BFE, Apache Junction.
How's that one going?
It's actually going pretty well so far. We just opened up about a week ago. Had some issues with the air conditioning, landlord, all that fun stuff, but we finally got everything squared away, and it's going really well. We had a lot of demand out there, and honestly, the shops that were in the area just weren't satisfying the customers' needs.
Right.
So we saw a really good opportunity to get out there.
So who do you find to work in Apache Junction?
Fortunately, I have 2 guys that live right around the Gilbert store.
Okay.
And from the Gilbert store to the Apache Junction store is about 15 minutes. So it's not too bad of a drive.
Too crazy, yeah.
And obviously, being Apache Junction, there's not a lot of crazy traffic out there or anything. So they can get in and out real easily, and they're liking it so far.
That's cool. So you have multiple business partners, right?
Yes. Myself, my sister, and Carl.
Okay, so there's 3 of you guys. Mm-hmm. That's so cool. I think it's cool, but then I think it's not cool. Because, like, I'm a solo business owner, but there's so much I can't do because I'm a solo business owner. Mm-hmm. And then, like, it would be cool because you can really kind of put everything out. Everybody can do their job and their talent the best that they can.
Right. Yeah, it can definitely be effective just kind of having a trifecta there, all being able to focus in on their skill sets, really hone those for the betterment of the business.
Right.
Obviously, when you have multiple people involved in such critical decision making, there's going to be kind of difficulties and conflicts there within. But through this process over the last 3 to 4 years, we've been able to really improve upon that and just get much better at what we do within our own fields.
Yeah, because like I enjoy not having to answer to anybody.
Right.
Right. I mean, not even to my wife, because she doesn't come in here, so it's like I just do my own thing, and it's kind of cool because my business either rises or falls on me and my shoulders, So there's no blame to point on anybody else. It's solely on me. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of cool, but at the same time, it does kind of suck because it's like, shit, man, I really wish I had an extra pair of hands to help me out do this stuff. Now I have Max here. He's my manager, but it's not the same as another owner, who's somebody who's financially vested into it. So that's cool, man. So how's Carlton doing?
Carl's doing well. He actually just got done. Hopefully he doesn't mind me talking about this. It's very good. He's been doing awesome. He did this whole Whole30 diet recently.
Oh, yeah.
And did he talk to you about that a little bit?
Yeah, he was doing it on and off, or he was just finishing up his first session when we were in San Antonio.
Yep, exactly. So he's, I don't know an exact number, but he's dropped a considerable amount of weight by doing it, and now he's kind of got that foundation in place from doing it for 30 days to make it much easier for him to just keep on that track of eating the right way with the right ingredients. and not falling off the wagon there. So he's been doing really good.
And your sister's doing well?
Yep, she's doing well also.
I haven't seen her in a minute. She kind of disappeared.
Yeah, she still does some marketing stuff for us, but she actually has the desire to go back to school, because when we started Valor, I had just graduated from ASU with my business degree in May of 2013. She was still in the process of getting her degree from UNLV up in Vegas, while she was also the general manager for Sin City Vapor, which is one of the biggest vape chains in Vegas.
Yeah.
So she came down and helped, spearhead this whole effort and get it started. But she's, kind of how her mind is. She's very intelligent, and she just wants to kind of keep pushing herself in the education realm. So she's been trying to make moves to kind of get back there and finish up her degree.
So you went and got your business degree. Do you have any other businesses outside of vape? Are you thinking about that at all, or are you just kind of focusing on vape right now?
I've definitely thought about it, and fortunately I have some friends within my group that are also entrepreneurs, so we kind of click on a certain wavelength as far as seeing potential business opportunities and whatnot. And we've definitely talked about certain ideas out there, but right now the focus, I'm pretty much living, breathing, eating, sleeping like Valor and our production with Sonoran pretty much 7 days a week. So I'm hoping that we can get to a point in the next year or two where things can be a little bit more automated, or people in place that I can maybe kind of detach a little bit, so that once the system is built out smoothly, that's the goal.
I think about that too with my shop, being able to detach, but it's been a super difficult task, because I did try to detach at one time, because I had like 3 employees. We were super busy, and I was thinking, okay, cool, this thing can run itself.
Yeah.
And it technically could run itself, but I think there was a part that was missing the moment I kind of stepped out of it, Do you work any of the stores yourself, or are you pretty much in the background?
I go in to help sometimes, especially if something crazy has happened with the scheduling, and I need to go work the shop for like a half day or something. It's few and far between, but what's ended up happening as well is that we used to do the custom juice mixing in the back, in what we
you guys had that cool little tube that went up.
We had a pretty legitimate, like, kind of clean lab setting, all things considered, for making juice custom on demand on site. But that always prompted, having at least 2 people in the building, 1 person in that lab and 1 person up front. And now, since we make all of our products in larger batches from Sonoran and push it out to the stores, a lot of our stores are just able to run with 1 person. And so what that's allowed is obviously, a drop in labor and kind of the overhead there associated. But it's also created sometimes problems if somebody just, something family-wise comes up, or they just get, like pneumonia out of the blue. That happened, last year to one of our guys. And, it can create problems, but at the same time, our guys really enjoy it that way, because they all get like 40 hours a week. They continually get, on average 2 to 3 raises per year from us as, we continue to grow and they continue to show that work.
2 to 3 raises?
Yeah.
What do those cost? Like 50 cent an hour raises, or?
A lot of our guys are actually salary, just because they all work right around 40 to 45 hours a week. And sometimes even up to 50 hours a week. But it helps ensure that we kind of have that cushion if we need those hours, to be allocated somewhere.
Well, what are you doing with all the new laws and shit now that's like overtime? Have you guys looked into that at all?
Yeah, so as long as from what our understanding is, and we've we've read through some of the resources at NFIB. I've talked with my payroll girl at our accountant's office. And as long as the math still is adding up to, at least the minimum wage, plus my guys actually get a decent amount of tips.
Really?
So, yeah.
How do you do that? You just put it up on the counter?
Well, we have little jars up on the counter where they can, tip cash, but also we have Clover as our POS. And one of the nice settings to it is when you tilt the screen towards them to get that signature and everything, there's a little tip option right there at the top. So it's very organically flowing for somebody to just be like, okay, yeah, 10% tip, or a custom amount tip. And so my guys get probably an extra $1 or $2 per hour on average from their tips.
That's funny. We used to do building here. You guys don't do building in your shop anymore, do you? Or do you?
I'd have to ask my guys. Like honestly, like the whole RDA market, like especially just like in our stores and our customers, is kind of just a thing of the past. It's an ancient relic.
I think we have probably a very similar customer base in that we have people who have jobs, people who have families and shit, and don't have time for building or anything like that.
I love my 30 and 40-year-old crowd. Like,
right? They're great.
They're fantastic.
That's why I did the wine, cheese, and vape thing, man. Because I was like, I need to take care of my customer base, not the cloud blowers and the coil builders. Not that I don't care about them, obviously, but I just they don't come here. They've got their shops that they go to, you know. So my customer base is all blue collar, lawyers, doctors, construction workers, tow truck drivers, kind of stuff, you know.
Right.
So I definitely love that crowd too. What was I going to ask you about? So you guys, talk about Sonoran a little bit. You guys purchased that last year?
Yeah. last April. And
that was a big move for you guys.
It was because we had, like I said before, we had the Clean Labs built out in each one of our stores, and that was a really good operation for us. People loved it. I really miss the whole customization side of things.
Right.
I totally understand, what the FDA was trying to do, the letter of the law, all of that jazz.
Right.
But I felt like we really did it in a clean setting. For anybody who's ever seen, one of our lab setups, we always invited people to walk back there and look through the door and see the whole operations. And so when we acquired Sonoran and purchased Sonoran, we knew that there was something coming down the pipeline.
Right.
And in our gut, it was going to be absolutely within the nicotine products, and the juice itself. In our eyes, it was inevitable. So we wanted to have a viable operation in a clean lab setting in an off-site facility that could handle, all of our wholesale orders, our online orders, all of our customers, in store as well, to be able to do things in larger batches and just pump it out. Because the one thing is, especially with some of the people still doing custom mixing, I might pour something just slightly different than you do, even though we can try and like measure things out and always try and be as accurate as possible. The fact of the matter is, if you're making things on an individual basis,
it's never gonna
you cannot be 100% consistent from one to the next.
Right.
So, when we made the move with Sonoran, we wanted to have more of that consistency and to be kind of pioneers into making that transition, so that when the regulations actually become enforced, we're already ready to go. We took the precautionary moves so that we don't have to have any hiccups when it comes. So now it's just a matter of if and when they come. And I don't even want to say if, because it's in my mind it's got to be inevitable.
No, you guys, I was definitely like in awe when regulations hit, and then like 2 months later you guys are buying a lab. Or actually, you guys bought the lab the week before the regs dropped, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that kind of...
Yeah, we were kind of hearing everything that, was going on anyways, and we knew we wanted to, even if it wasn't with the original Sonoran operation, that we were going to do something Valor related in an off-site facility, just because we felt like that's where the future was going and where it will go. So, we've just been able to really grow that ever since then.
Yeah, you guys have made a lot of moves. There's 2 or 3 shops like you guys that are pushing more shops. You yourself, GK Vapor, he keeps on opening up more shops. Who else? Vaporize keeps opening up more shops, and it's like you guys are making very aggressive moves. And for me, that's scary as shit. Because
I'm ready to hit cruise control for a little bit now, but...
You're chilling for a little bit? Apache Junction, that's it for right now?
We're always keeping our ears open for certain opportunities, but as it stands right now, I'm just ready to hit cruise control for a little bit, just because it's been since April of last year when we purchased Sonoran, it has been just relentless, nonstop. Stressful months, really exciting months, but that's kind of the cycle of being an entrepreneur too, is just those highs and the lows, and you wake up one day and everything is amazing, like you're feeling on top of the world, the next day you're like, wow, like I suck.
It's a fucking emotional roller coaster, dude. I was giving Max shit yesterday because he was telling me like I freak out all the time during this year, during this season of the year, and he was laughing at me. He's like, he does this every year, and it's like, dude, I've got a fucking family to feed, and I've got to make sure you stay employed. So like, don't give me shit about that, all right, asshole? Like you don't know, it fucking freaks me the fuck out, you know. So I can't imagine, dude, having you got the laboratory and 4 shops, 5 shops, or something like that. And That's just crazy. But you also have a team behind you, which is cool.
Right.
You know, I mean, you've got Carlton, you've got your sister, so that helps to alleviate a little bit, hopefully.
Absolutely. We got some of the best people too. I mean, I love all of our crew. For the most part, you know, we relatively have very low employee turnover just because we really take care of our people. Kind of going back to how most of my guys are like, yeah, I'm down to work 40, 50 hours a week, and, you know, have that on my shoulders and make more money versus having a little bit easier and having somebody part-time. You know, they want that. And it's great for them too, just from a work experience, you know, standpoint. And it just breeds a lot more consistency on our end and dependability. So
I've been fortunate too. All my employees have been with me a long time. For the most part, Max, you've been here, what, 2.5 years?
Yeah.
2.5 years, and then Jesse was here for I don't know how long. Sam was here for a year and a half. Austin wasn't here for too long because he's Austin, and I love Austin. But that didn't work out. But yeah, most of my guys, the guys that have become my managers, my right-hand man, have been around for quite a long time, so I'm super appreciative of them too. So what do you think about the vape culture, man? I mean, I know you guys don't do a whole lot of RDAs and builds and stuff, but you guys have been to all the conventions too and seen the ins and outs of it. I mean, what do you think about that? Like,
from a national standpoint, I think vape is definitely trending in the right direction. I mean, there was just a study that came out recently that showed, you know, big tobacco and, you know, their cigarette sales continuing to drop. And, you know, I think a major factor in that, a major variable, is vaping becoming more prevalent. More people turning more vapors on, you know, to the alternative of it. So I think on a national level, it is definitely headed in the right direction. I think what happens, though, is on certain local and smaller regional areas, you can have some problems. Like as far as San Francisco recently, they just, you know, banned all the flavors. I don't know when that goes into effect, but
April.
I mean that's my home area. That's where I'm from, is the Bay Area, and I wanted to move back there one day, but honestly, the people that are, you know, the decision makers in place there right now, you know, I have no desire to move back there anytime soon, because it's really a tragedy, you know, what they're doing in certain parts of California. But you know, going back to the smaller regional areas, like I think Phoenix, obviously, you know, as most business owners know right now, it's still very hyper competitive, super oversaturated market, and so it's just this race to the bottom for pricing, and you have a lot of the younger consumers, and it's nothing against the younger consumers because we have plenty of them too, and like I appreciate them, you know, and I understand they have a little bit tighter budget to work with. They also have usually and typically a stronger and more vocal social media presence to kind of continually build on this, you know, lowest price. And, you know, we work with shops all around the country, and I chat with other owners sometimes. I have a cousin in Virginia that actually owns a vape shop too, and I was chatting with her last week about hardware prices, and it's just completely black and white difference. I mean, what they're doing, you know, as far as juice pricing, hardware pricing, is more so where Arizona used to be about 2-3 years ago. But it's just such a different landscape out here. So but there has to be that market correction too. You know, it's super oversaturated right now, and it's this drive to the bottom for pricing, but that market equilibrium eventually is going to hit, just because it can't stay sustainable the way it kind of is right now.
It almost seems like it can, though, for some damn reason. It freaks me the fuck out. It's just chaos, and what ultimately have to happen is that manufacturers of juice, manufacturers of hardware would have to, number one, not compete against their customers that they're wholesaling to, and number two, maintain their MSRPs on juice and hardware, you know? Because you get shops that are just undercutting everybody by $6-7 because they're happy to make $1 on a bottle. That's just ridiculous, dude. Like, you can't make a living that way, and I'm not willing to give up my livelihood to give everybody the cheapest juice possible. No, we'll try to do it as much as we can.
Of course. You want to be able to work with the customer as much as possible, but at the end of the day, you got a family. You know, you have people that you have to pay. You have certain things that you got to make sure of get taken care of at the end of each day and each week and month.
And we're not rich. We're not making tons of money.
No, honestly, that's not our position either. Like, I mean, you know, there might be some in the valley that are just stacking it up right now, you know, doing things in certain manners. But that was one of the things I kind of left out in, my little monologue before about kind of where the vaping culture is and hitting that market correction equilibrium standpoint is when the regulations actually start to become enforced.
Yeah.
Because right now they just basically announced, this bombshell, but they're like, hey, you should, do this, do it this way, this is what we're looking for. Oh, but we don't have anybody that's going around enforcing anything. Like,
Right.
Nobody's getting penalized right now. Nobody's even really getting warnings.
A couple of shops have gotten checked.
Well, I've seen on like the 18 and up age verification kind of thing, and I remember hearing like 6 to 12 months ago that there was some kind of agency going around doing some like GCC certification checks on bottles. But that's really the extent of it.
Yeah, the guys from the Royal Vapor out in Chandler, they said that they got checked by somebody from the health department.
Interesting.
Yeah, they checked.
I didn't hear that.
Yeah, they checked to see if they had were charging for testing and if they had all their GCC forms and whatnot.
Okay.
Or GRC forms. I don't even know what they are. I know we have them, but
yeah. I mean, I guess that's somewhat encouraging that there's, some people starting to actually take action on it.
It's just somebody needs to get fined, and hopefully it's not us.
Right.
But somebody who's, and we're not doing, I think we try to do our damnedest to make sure that we're doing things within the scope of the law. But we know a lot of shops aren't doing it, and it's almost like somebody's got to get fined pretty big for everybody else to fucking fall in line.
Yeah, just kind of like that shock value of like, okay, like this shit's real now, like it's happening, We need to prepare and adjust for it, and that's what we tried to do last year with the moves that we made.
Do you feel like seeing that a lot of people don't give a shit about them, that what you guys did was fruitless, or does it feel like that sometimes?
I mean, I still hope in the long run here that that it's the right move and the advantageous move.
Right.
But yeah, there's certain times where I'm disappointed because it's like I know that my store's lost a few customers just because, we couldn't, make a custom juice for somebody anymore.
Right.
We couldn't take, like our monkey nuts flavor and add in, like caramel to it or something, something like that. And I know people miss that, and honestly, like I miss doing that too. Like I miss being able to have people ask for things and try and meet their expectations, and usually exceed them. But we got the regulations passed down to us, and we made the moves and decisions that we thought were going to be in our best interest going forward.
Here you go. Let me get you another one.
Thank
Thank you, Kayla.
Appreciate
you. So, yeah, man, because I think about it, too. I'm like, damn, dude, we're trying to do everything legit. We're trying to do everything right, and then these shops are still getting away with some of this stuff. So it gets a little frustrating, a little discouraging in my own heart. But at the same time, it's like, we just got to keep doing what we do and do what we do well, which I think both of us do pretty well,
Exactly.
So convention life, you guys going to continue doing that stuff? What are you thinking about the change and all that kind of stuff?
In what now?
The convention life. I mean, I know you weren't at San Antonio, but Carlton was out in San Antonio.
Yeah, we actually shout out to Joel and the Vape Dynasty guys.
What up, Joel?
We entered a like a little raffle giveaway that they were having. We ended up winning a free booth out there.
Nice.
So it was a good setup, and obviously paid for all the logistics to get out there and everything and the setup. But it was a solid show. I mean, I'd be cool doing like maybe a couple shows a year. I don't know if I'm the biggest fan of the out-of-state ones. Honestly, one of the worst experience shows we ever had was Vape Summit in Vegas back in like 2015 or something like that.
The one with Pip. Spent all kinds of money.
Well, it was actually whenever Pacquiao fought Mayweather. It was that weekend, and they tried to jack up like all these prices like around that weekend, and so they had advertised a certain set of prices, and then the weekend actually finally came, and they were trying to charge different stuff like at the door for certain things related to Vape Summit, and it just left a bad taste in everybody's mouth, because the turnout was a lot lower than expected, and I understand like they're business owners too. It's your prerogative, do things how you want, but realize that you have the vendors there that they're the ones that are enabling you to even have this viable business. So that left a bad taste, and also they basically let their platinum, diamond, whatever sponsors, every 30 minutes just like start slinging out product from the main stage. So it would just totally mess up the flow of traffic there. So it was just like, people would walk around for 15, 20 minutes. They make an announcement. Bam, everybody's off to the stage for free shit. Vapors love it.
So, yeah, Vapors love team free shit, man.
Yep.
So they were... Is that summit even around anymore? I don't even know if there's been a summit since then.
I have no idea.
I know it left a lot of bad taste in a lot of people's mouths.
Right.
And then the one after that was one in like Idaho or Indiana where you couldn't vape inside. That was the other one.
Oh shit! Yeah.
Everybody was all freaked out about that. Yeah, I don't. The convention circuit to me has been fun. I enjoy going.
Yeah. No, it is. It's a blast. It's a blast.
It kind of drives me nuts though as a shop owner. Like I'd like a convention where, like, let's say Kanger, Smoke Tech, Joy Tech, any manufacturer, juice manufacturer actually shows up. And let's say Smoke Tech shows up with a 50-foot trailer full of this new damn mod that they have. And I'd like to go to a convention and say, yes, I love this product. I want to order 50 of them. Ship it to me, or let me pick it up and take it home right now.
Right.
You know? But it seems like the conventions are all juice now, and the only hardware you see there is high-end.
Yep.
And most of the time, all this shit's sold out to their buddies anyways.
Right.
By the time you get there, and you can't even buy a high-end device because he already sold it to his friend. He's just showing it to you because he's a modder, you know.
Everybody and their mom has a juice line nowadays.
Dude, there's a million juice
nuts.
companies.
It's crazy. That's another thing that equilibrium's gonna hit too. I mean, you can have pretty low-cost juice operations.
Right.
I mean, excuse me. I'm sure everybody has seen some of the videos out there of juice manufacturers, you know, getting revealed as far as like their operations and how they're making juice. And there was one company, I can't remember, but they basically had like their whole juice set up like in a shack.
Yeah.
And it was just, and it was
that the one with the cockroach on the floor in the picture?
Yeah. I can't remember who that was.
I don't know if that was local or not local. I can't remember, but
and it's just like, all right, like that's part of why I think the regulations are important and eventually are going to take effect is to bring some more legitimacy to the industry, because I think there's still a lot of people, and obviously I kind of despise mainstream media, but they have a very loud presence in the way people have perceptions and perceive things. And I think there's still a lot of people that are continually on the fence about vaping and trying it as an alternative. Yeah. You know, because they see the batteries exploding in people's pockets, and they hear stories about, certain like juices that have, messed people up, or side effects, whatever it may be. I think that the regulations bring a certain legitimacy that would, even more so on the national level, open up the effectiveness of vaping to people.
I think for me, like, the one time that I realized, like, I've never sold any house juice. Like, I've never made my own juice. Like, I've private labeled stuff, but I've never made my own juice. But the time I realized it was probably a year and a half ago, like right before regs dropped. I'm sitting here and I'm messing around with stuff, and just messing around, not even like serious trying to make juice. I was just messing around with some stuff, and I had like 5 or 6 bottles sitting out, and I'm sitting there mixing this stuff, and then I sneezed. And I sneezed all over those 5 or 6 bottles. Yep. And that was the moment that I literally said, okay, this is why I don't make my own juice and why I won't shop at a place that makes their own juice. Right. Because, I mean, if you got, Tommy, 18-year-old, sitting there making your juice and he sneezes into it and you don't see it, he's not going to give a shit. He's just going to shake it up and hand it to you. Right. So that kind of stuff. I mean, what if the guy's got
I used that same example before, too, especially, I don't know what shops are still potentially mixing juice directly behind a counter, but I mean, even if, homeboy over there sneezes, and it gets into that whole room is compromised from a cleanliness standpoint.
No, you have to have hair nets and a mask and air filtration systems and... Exactly. I mean, even as much as the roof tiles, like, you can't have these types of roof tiles in labs because it leaves dust.
So you have to have an antimicrobial paint on the walls. Like, there's a lot of, little factors and variables in there that help ensure just the cleanliness of a product that's got nicotine in it. I mean, unless you're vaping zero, but still, it's deemed as a nicotine product that you are inhaling into your lungs. You want to have that cleanliness, and legitimacy to it.
Yeah, and I agree 100%, dude. So that's why I only sell product that, comes from a giant laboratory. And then the consistency, too, that comes with it is really nice, is that, when you're mixing a 50-gallon batch, it's going to taste consistent than you are if you're just mixing a 120 ml bottle at a time.
Exactly.
So, how you guys doing? Good. So for me, it's always just been the best move to go with people who are making it in laboratories who are doing it right. But early on in the days, remember, dude, like people would come into your shop and then they would bring you these plastic bottles with handwritten labels on them.
Oh my God! Yep.
And they'd have they would go so far to actually print the lines. They would say name, nic level, VG/PG ratio, and then it was just all handwritten on it.
Yeah,
that was craziness, dude. Connor did that, and now Connor's huge.
Dude, So I I never like to take my own product, honestly. Like, I'm just like, why take finished product? Like, so I have my own little DIY setup at home that I just have, like, our premixes. I've pretty much been vaping our Mirage flavor with menthol because I can just add it there at home because our regular Mirage doesn't come with menthol. And that's been like all I've vaped for a year straight. But yeah, this is like exactly the same kind of label we used to use it. Just, you know.
Yeah, but at least you have a logo and actual.
Yeah, we had the NIC
stuff.
level on there, the VGPG, the flavor, and then the born date on there. You know, and our proper warning label and stuff like that. But I miss those days sometimes.
Yeah, it was.
But you know, at the same time, you know, it's the market was such a wild west kind of format, and now it's approaching that. Okay, you want to be taken seriously as an industry. All right, here's what's going to be put in place, and you know, that's what the regulations, I think, were set out to do to some extent.
So I mean, you guys are preparing for that. You guys have a big lab. Like, I mean, for me, it's a big lab compared to what I've seen else. I mean, you guys have a really nice lab. Matt from Bud Out has a really nice lab. The guys from Cream Vapor have a good lab.
Joe Bradley, shout out.
Yeah, Joe Bradley. Joe Bradley. He's got a good setup too. But it's almost like you guys just have your lab to pretty much. Do you guys sell wholesale to other people too? Yeah,
we do. So, like our Valor branded stuff, not only just the house stuff, but our premium line. We sell that to a handful of different shops around the valley. Around the valley and also out of state as well.
Right on.
All the way out to Virginia where my cousin's shop is at.
So you got stuff in there?
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Does she make a better profit margin on it than you do?
She does. She sells it for more than we do, which is kind of crazy. But I mean, good for her. She's in a very unique setup too, because this is anybody who's familiar with Virginia. I don't know how many people out there. So Virginia's got this little peninsula called the Eastern Shore of Virginia. And there's a ton of smokers in this area because this is tobacco country. So you already have people that are very stubborn, stuck in their ways. But there's a ton of smokers there. And what's fascinating is that there is her closest. This is how dreamy of a setup it is. Her closest competition is 40 miles away.
No shit.
She is the only vape shop in 40 miles.
Well, let's not give the exact location so that nobody else moves in next
blow up the spot.
So she's probably killing it out there.
Yeah, she's doing well. She's doing well.
Oh my gosh. I remember when I was here and I was like the 11th or 12th shop. And actually my startup was very slow. It took like 6 months for me to actually get going. But it was great for that second year and a half. It was awesome. And then it started dipping like crazy, which I'm sure you experienced too.
Yeah.
Just the oversaturation. There's a shop on every damn corner now. A lot of them suck. You know?
They do. You know what's surprising? Not to bash on locals or anything. I can't believe that shop up the road. Like,
it's another owner.
It's a new ownership. I thought it was just going to be gone, and I'm sure you thought so too.
No, I thought it was going to go away too, but for some reason, somebody keeps buying that damn place up. You know, it's like the fifth owner now.
I sometimes just for the hell of it, I'll like go on Craigslist and just see like, because I've actually seen like vape shops that are for sale on Craigslist. So I saw theirs, and like they kind of posted what their numbers are, and I was like, like that's not really viable. Like that's barely breaking even, if that. But, I mean, gotta respect the hustle. Those guys found a buyer.
I think it's the same guys from Vape Phoenix. You remember those guys?
Oh, yeah, but they closed, because they were down the street from our Thunderbird shop. And that operation closed down. And there was, I don't even want to say it's rumors just because I have people that come to my Thunderbird store from it. And I'm not afraid to say it out in the open like this. Like, they were serving alcohol in their store, in like an after hours kind of format, and it's like, in what world do you think that is going to like last and be viable and like not not get you?
I don't think the head honcho at Vape Phoenix is over here anymore. I know they still sell the same damn juice, but I think it's the other two dudes that were running it. But I don't know, whatever, dude. To each their own. You know, if they want to take over a shop that's failed 3 times and try to do it, you know, like I
guess 4 times the charm, maybe.
You know, it's ridiculous, dude. Like I've heard rumors of people wanting to move into this area, and I'm like, go ahead. Like I've got my customer base. I don't care. You know, I'm not gonna get any busier, and I'm not gonna get any slower because my customers are very loyal. You know, so.
And that's what's important with those demographics we were talking about, just and having that reliable customer base. And you guys I've seen your guys' Yelp and everything. You guys have stellar reviews all the time.
I got a couple bad ones. It's horrible. It breaks my heart.
Dude, it does to me too, man. Like I go and check our Yelp like once a week, and I like when I see one, I'm just like, oh my god. Let me message them back. Let me figure out how to make it right for them. Which is what you should do as a business owner. Want to ensure that everybody has the best experience.
So you
possible.
check everybody's Yelp too?
Once in a while. Just because what's interesting too is just to see. I do it in an objective way to see the negative feedback that people are leaving onto other stores, to see if it's something that we can kind of insure against. There was one shop. I don't want to name any names out there, but there was one shop that had a review basically about they didn't like how the employee put their hands like all over their drip tip and stuff like that. And I'm like, all right, guys, like starting effective immediately, like just take like a box of gloves that you have in the back. Keep them up by the counter and just ask the customer, like, if they would prefer that you wear gloves when touching, like, their tank and their device, or, and, like, thankfully,
you guys still do that?
We still have the gloves there, but honestly, most people
don't care.
It's just that, like, slim margin of people that get super anal about things, and, they're kind of, sometimes they're the pretentious, like, clean freaks that are like, oh,
I think that that lady in my shop too.
I'm gonna leave a bad review about it just to share it with the world.
And there are some people that just want to leave bad reviews. Like 2 people that come to mind that got really bad reviews and really screwed up their Yelp was Red Star and Vaporize. So Red Star, they had made a statement saying, "Bring any juice into the shop, we can clone it," and boom, everybody went nuts on them, dude, and their Yelp rating went to shit. Now it's not cool what they did.
No, it's not.
But the whole industry is based on cloning something. I mean, how many fucking strawberry creams can you fucking make?
Exactly. So
they took a shit, and then Vaporize had one recently where an employee got fired and she went off, and then everybody else went off, and it was just shitty. It's bad for them. They didn't do anything wrong. It's just for whatever reason they jump on the hype train, because even freaking Red Star was getting it from national brands, dude. Like, if you look at,
I didn't see that.
Yeah, if you look at their Yelp reviews when they got them, dude, it's like you can see that they're major juice label makers that are commenting, and from other states. They're not even from Arizona, so they got it pretty bad. Now,
I mean, I've never talked about it publicly, but just because we're in this format right now, like, I'm gonna go out there and say it. Like, I have nothing personally against the Red Star guys, but they straight up have a flavor on their menu for anybody who goes to Red Star that has seen this. Like, they have a flavor that is very popular called Yoshi Goo.
Yeah.
That flavor existed first and foremost at Valor Vapor before it ever existed at Red Star. So it's bad form in that sense. And I know there's other places in the valley that have had issues with other places that are doing custom kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just it's bad form first and foremost.
Right.
But when it's like local on local, that leaves even a worse taste.
Yeah.
Excuse me, a worse taste in the mouth, just because it's, we're all in friendly competition.
Right.
But we all have the same goal to try and be successful, do things our way, put in the work, and help people quit smoking.
Yeah. That's the big one right there, is help people quit smoking. Are you in it because it actually helps people quit smoking? Which we technically can't say because of FDA regulations.
Right.
But we've seen hundreds of not thousands of people quit smoking because they vape now, or they even stop vaping now, which sucks. But that's the business we're in. And then there's other shop owners, like smoke shops. They don't give a shit.
No.
You know what I'm saying? Smoke shops, like I tell people, friends don't let friends buy juice at smoke shops. Problem is the smoke shops are starting to carry premiums now.
Right.
So it sucks to see the brands you're carrying inside of a smoke shop, because those people don't care. But I understand it from the juice maker's point of view. They just want to get in as many shops as possible so that they sell more product and put more money in their pocket. But they don't care. I mean, it's a smoke shop.
Right. And that's what's made it tough while the market's so saturated to create that differentiation, because that's so important in business, to have that differentiation of why people should come to you, versus somebody down the street.
Right.
But what's tough is, if you need a pack of coils and the shop you really love to go to is a 10-minute drive, and some little smoke shop setup just started carrying vape stuff and they're right around the corner from you, and they, and they have the coils you need, like, I get it to some extent. It's like, I just need coils. Like, I'm just going to go right here around the corner. So that's what creates, a little bit of the issue as well.
When I was talking with Adam Saracola, he said that he read a statistic that 60% of vapors now go to smoke shops. They don't even go to vape shops anymore.
Interesting.
Yeah. I was like, damn, that's huge. Because there are some good smoke shops out there, like Headquarters in Tempe.
Yeah.
They do a really good job with vape. I mean, they got one side vape, one side smoke shop. and their employees who no vape. Like
Right.
Headquarters is solid out there. Who else is another good smoke shop that does this? I don't know. No,
Yeah,
Headquarters is
I don't
the
know.
one
I don't know too many. But I'm not, too into that either
Right.
as far as what's out there smoke
going
shop
on.
wise. But I think I talked to you about this one time, and it's such an interesting missing statistic. But it's as we've all kind of seen the ups and downs in our business cycles. How many people? Because we all have customers that they start vaping
Right.
because they want to quit smoking, and eventually they want to quit vaping. They want to be completely free of anything that they're inhaling into their
Right.
body like that. But there's really no data out there that represents how many people have successfully quit smoking and thus quit vaping, so they're no longer a customer or a consumer even in the industry.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of what's happened over the last few years too. And
Yeah.
congratulations to them, 100%. I'm still very close with some of our customers that have successfully
Right.
quit smoking and thus quit vaping. But I think that's a huge piece of data that's kind of lost.
Yeah.
And I think if there was a way to collect that data, it would be even more effective on like a local, state, and possible national level
Right.
if we were able to say like this is how many people have quit
Yeah.
everything altogether.
It'd be cool to be able to see that data, and also how many people have lowered their nicotine intake.
Yeah.
People who started out 18, 24.
I started
and now doing like
18.
Right.
Granted, it was back with a T3S on like
Right,
a little
right.
900 milliamp hour battery, but now we're just sucking down juice with our TFV8.
Yeah, which is
tanks
ridiculous,
nowadays.
dude. I sent out a survey probably about, I want to say, 4 weeks ago, 5 weeks ago. That was a loud vehicle, if you guys didn't hear it.
Right.
4 or 5 weeks ago. Just kind of asking my customer base, because we've definitely seen a decline in the last 2 years. And I asked them, what was the reason for leaving? And I gave them options. I said, you didn't like the service, you didn't like, you just found something closer, the prices were too high, or you quit. Mm-hmm. And this was probably the best survey I've ever put out, and I actually got like pretty close to 100 responses back.
That's solid.
So the response, I'd say probably 20%, 15 to 20% of them said they just quit.
Yeah.
And they're not even smoking anymore.
Right.
So
Right.
that's really cool. And then I hear a lot of people too, because like we get people that come back in like, yeah, man, I quit smoking, quit vaping. He goes, but then I picked up a cigarette again. And I was smoking for a month and a half.
Yeah, we get those too.
And I was like, I need to stop this. So I had to go back to vaping. So
Yeah.
it's working to help people quit. And it would be good to have a hardline evidence with that.
It would be.
And that was probably the closest. And that made me feel better. And I only got 1 or 2 bad reviews or 2 responses that said, and it had to do with employees that had to work here, so they had their best friends that were working here. So,
Right.
But the rest of them were just like, no, your shop's great, you guys do good, or we just moved away, or we just quit.
Unfortunately, you can't please everybody, and that's just what I've realized.
Yep.
There's certain people out there. I don't know if you've ever seen the episode of South Park too, where it's everybody in South Park is basically like they think that they're like the official Yelpers, and they just go around and like they think that they're like food critics basically,
Right.
and that like their Yelp reviews are like the most valuable thing.
Yeah.
It's hilarious, but like they get so pretentious about it,
Right.
and there's definitely some people out there that
Oh, it's huge.
go to businesses and kind of have that mindset,
Mm-hmm.
and I just don't think they understand kind of what it's like on the other side of the counter. So
I
to
kind of
say.
have my mindset's that way whenever I go into any business, whether it's vape related or not. I
Right.
just don't leave reviews.
Right,
What
right.
I'm saying? Because I will pick apart a business, a restaurant, bro. I will pick apart a restaurant. Mm-hmm. I will look at it and I will see, okay, the tables are dirty, the servers aren't doing
Yep.
this, the manager's over here flirting with somebody, and I just I wish I could go talk to the owners and be like, yo, this is what I'm seeing.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to talk to them on Yelp because it's just shitty to do it on Yelp.
Right.
But I definitely critique everything and everybody.
I do
right
that
now.
too, just because I've been a server at multiple places when I was younger, so
Yeah.
I more so like critique servers,
Yeah.
and when they're and I totally understand when they're busy and whatnot, and
Right.
it's crazy rushing there, but when it's when it's just poor service or they're just dropping the ball on something,
Yeah.
it's I absolutely take note of it just because I've been there, I've walked in those shoes, and I know what the job entails.
Yeah. I was about to murder this kid the other night.
Yeah?
Oh my gosh.
Where at?
What's it called? It's called Joe's Midnight Run on 7th
Okay.
Street in Bethany. Mm-hmm. They took over a liquor store, redesigned the place. It's a cool place. Great restaurant. Food's awesome. They got this incredible grilled salad, dude. You got to try it. Like,
Ooh, that's
they,
right up
they-
my alley
They take
too.
a romaine head, right?
Yeah.
Cut it long ways. They grill the son of a bitch. put it on the plate. They throw all this stuff on there with these little hunks of ham hocks and stuff, dude. It's so tasty, so tasty. But this kid, dude, like it was dead slow. It was dead slow in the restaurant. I got me and a party of 5 total, a couple friends and another friend, so 3 friends and me and my wife. And I asked him for limes and for my beer, because I like limes in my beer. Right. I know it's weird. It's Coors Light. It's un-American but very Mexican. So, and he walked by me like 10 times, dude, and didn't bring it to me. So finally, I just got my ass up and went and got the limes. And he saw me grab them and walk them out, and then he walks out with his jar of limes, and I was like, bro, I already got them, man. He's like, well, you should get a job here. And I was just like, whoa. And I looked at him and I said, dude, don't be a dick, dude. All right? Don't be a dick.
Right.
And then he just
Sorry,
avoided.
I had to do your job for you.
Yeah, exactly. So then he continued to walk around us and take care of everybody else, and then didn't take care of us. So then I went to the manager, and I don't know if they gave us a discount or not. I still spent a bunch of money there, but it was just, I should have left a Yelp review. But since I talked to the manager, I didn't. But
right.
That kind of shit, dude, that happens in my shop, dude. You're gone. Get the fuck out.
Yeah. Right.
You don't. I mean, granted, my employees are very smart ass with some of our customers, but it's after
you got that rapport
relationship. We have a good time, and there it goes back and forth. I mean, that's what happens at this old vape shop. Sometimes we get into little bullshit matches.
No, and that's good though, because I mean that's those kind of customer service experiences you want. Right. I always tell my guys kind of 2 key words, engaging and memorable. You want people to come in and be engaged, and you want them to walk out and have kind of a memorable experience, even if it's just them buying a pack of coils or juice, but like, conversing with them in a way that's like, oh, like, those guys were really nice, or they were funny, or they just, they really went, above and beyond, like giving me information breakdown, versus, just walking into a place, can I get a pack of Baby Beast coils? Yep, there you go, man. Yeah. $20-something.
Yeah, no, it's definitely an art to be able to, number one, what got me, when I got stuck in a bar, dude, I drank a lot for a long time. I got stuck in a bar for like 3 years, 7 nights a week, 8 nights a week. It was horrible. But the reason I got stuck at that bar is because I had a conversation with the guy when I was 21, when I got my first beer there, right? Didn't come back for a month and a half. A month and a half later, I came in, and he put a Coors Light on the counter and started the same conversation we had a month and a half ago.
Okay, there you go.
So for me, that's huge. Like,
right.
I remember people. I remember what they were doing. And sometimes I don't do it with everybody, but if I remember and it comes into my head, I definitely bring it up. Like, hey, how did that go? Or how's your grandmother doing, or whatnot? And it's just something special because, we give a shit. We care.
Exactly.
We're not just here to sell you shit. For me, it's definitely my customers become my family. They're my friends. They're my only friends, really. My customers are my only friends.
And people value that, though, so much. And, I mean, you're always going to have customers that are like, hey, like, I'm just trying to get my shit and get out of here.
I'm a bounce.
Totally respect that. Like, hey, you're speeding up my process. Thank you. But, there's absolutely people that, want to have that engagement. Yeah. And, you want to make sure you have people in place that are going to be able to provide that. Yeah. Otherwise, they might try another shop down the street next time, get a better experience. And it's like, all right, like, I kind of like these guys. I have a better connection, with them.
Yeah. I had a couple guys come in here the other night, and they had a new mod in their hands. And I was like, hey, dude, where'd you get that mod at, bro? And he's like, I got it from Blue Dragon. I'm like, you bastard. Right?
Right.
And I'll insult them. If they're my customers and they buy shit from another store, I'll insult them because I know them.
Right.
So I was like, you guys are bastards. He's like, dude, but it's so cheap over there. And I'm like, yeah. I said, but I entertain you. You've been here for an hour, and I've been talking to you, bro. I said, that's what you're paying for. You're paying for.
There's a nice value in that.
There's a nice value in this, man. And I'll take care of you. But yeah, that was it was funny.
Yeah.
I joke. I love Blue Dragon. Those guys over there, whatever. Do what you want, So.
Right.
So yeah, man, it's been a crazy run, dude. I love the shit out of my customers. I love being able to just bring up and talk about different things with them. For me, it's like being a bartender.
That's a good analogy for it,
It's huge, dude, because people come in, they tell you everything.
Right.
Like their whole life story, who died, who didn't die, who's, and sometimes it can be overwhelming, but for the most part, like, I care. Like, I watch, like, my female customers. I've got a few female customers that are young girls, and, like, I worry about them.
Right.
Because you just care for them.
Yeah.
Even
absolutely.
My young guy customers. I had a gentleman come in the other day, and he just got out of prison after 3 years. Right. He's young, 21 years old, and I'm like, I've got to take this guy under my wing somehow.
Right.
And that's weird. Why does a shop owner think that? Why do I give a shit that he got out?
Because you have a certain kind of moral compass in place, right. I believe, and a certain leadership that you exude, and that can draw certain people and draw you to certain people, right. just to try and get them on the right path, which is
I just want to
absolutely
headlock
admirable.
them, choke them out until they submit.
Right, exactly. It's just like, get the shit right.
Yes, exactly. But yeah, dude, that's the shit that goes through my mind. It's like I give a shit about these people that come in and just hang out, and you guys do too. You know, you guys are a good shop.
Appreciate that.
I appreciate Valor a lot, and what you guys are doing, and everything you guys got going on over there. Carlton, I loved it. Carlton, tell you about our experience in San Antonio.
He talked about some of the food experiences.
You gonna talk about the after party that we went to?
I think he did a little bit. But you know what? As a quick side note, that's what's so interesting, because for those that don't know, Carl and I have been friends since we were like 13 years old.
Really?
We both moved to the same block in
Yeah.
Anthem,
Mm-hmm.
and that's where we met each other. And then we ended up going to two different high schools. But you know, we were always friends throughout the years. And then we lived together at college, and you know, so we've always been very close. And now where we're at in a business, I was talking about this with him recently, is, you know, probably 80% of our interactions nowadays are on a business kind of level, and only like 20%, you know, is on a kind of friendship level.
Right.
And I mean, that's par for the course, you know,
Right.
with you know, in the business and where we've come over the last, you know, 3 or 4 years. But you know, it's interesting to kind of reflect back on sometimes, and you know, realize kind of the reality and the landscape of things.
You guys should go on a honeymoon together.
We need a vacation.
Just a vacation together.
We need a
dude. Just
vacation.
you two, Rocky Point, dude.
We're actually
champagne, mimosas in the morning.
We're actually doing a group trip with some of our friends in early August. We're going to Canada.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, really excited for that. Any excuse to
Why
get
Canada?
out of it. So my roommate, his family's got a cottage up on a lake there in this place called, I think, like Port Colborne or
They're
something.
cottages, not cabins up there?
They're
cottages.
Cottages.
Nice,
Cottages.
nice.
And it's like an hour or so outside of Niagara Falls. But honestly, yeah, I've never been to Canada. But any excuse to get out of Arizona in the
Right.
summer,
Oh, yeah.
you don't have to sell me too
Is
hard
it
on
like
it.
East Canada, West Canada?
This would be East Canada.
Yeah.
Because Niagara, we're gonna fly into Buffalo
Okay.
and then drive up to the cottage, and then, you know, do like a day or two in Niagara Falls.
Yeah.
Toronto's like an hour and a half drive.
Okay.
Yeah, go over there.
So you and him and then a couple other people?
Yeah, it's me, him, and about 4 or 5 other people.
Yeah.
Going up there.
Yeah, I had a great time with him in San Antonio. We went to a bunch of different bars and different restaurants and whatnot, and then we ended up at... He was trying to close a deal, dude. It was so funny, and I felt horrible, dude, because he was trying to close a deal, and I was already inebriated, and we Ubered to these people's houses. It was an Asian group. I don't know if he was trying to sell juice to them, if they were shop owners or not. I was just out of it. Well, finally, I was like, all right, we got to go, dude. Like, he's like, yeah, let's go, Luis. Well, you got to go. As I'm walking out to the Uber, dude, like, I almost fall on this bush, right? 'Cause I'm like, my balance, my equilibrium's gone, dude.
Right.
I almost fall on this bush. I miss it. And I still boom, 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 and I just roll over. The Uber driver's running out to save me, pick me up. Everybody's like, "You okay? You okay?" Yeah, I'm fine. Just leave me here, man. It was horrible.
That's a good guy Uber driver right there.
No,
though.
he was great, dude. And I was like, tip this guy. That's what I told Carlton. I was like, make sure and tip him, dude. He picked me up off the ground.
I'd be worried right off the bat. I'm like, this dude's about to yak in my car.
Right.
Like,
I'm not a puker.
Okay.
No, I'm not a puker. You have to really throw in like tequila or whiskey for me to puke. But I can drink 1,000,000 beers and never puke. I will go to the restroom a lot, but I will not puke.
You got that resilience kind of built up.
It's just grease.
Yeah.
It's just grease. Yeah. It's just Filibertos.
So how was the experience for you out there? Because I know, you know, ourselves, Kidney Puncher, a few other companies, you know, kind of helped, you know, get you out there and everything.
Yes.
How was that experience? You know, going up on stage and doing everything.
You know, it was really cool. Fortunately, I had already started on my own personal diet at the time, so I had lost like 40 pounds, dude, which was cool.
That's awesome.
I was able to perform at a different level. I'd still like to lose another 50 pounds, and then I'd definitely be able to perform more than 3 songs. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm pushing out a lot of words, and I'm moving a lot. So like, not everybody knows that there's a reason why people who are superstars on stage, because they're superstars. There's a reason why they're superstars.
Right.
Beyonce. Let's see who else. Let's say Anthony Kiedis from the Red Hot Chili Peppers. Anybody who's super animated on stage, dude. Lady Gaga.
Mm-hmm.
Super Bowl performance blew my mind. You know, she's actually singing live. She's dancing. She's jumping. She's flying in the goddamn air. That takes a lot of endurance, dude, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So for me, like my training right now, because I'm so big, was walking and saying my lyrics. You know, not even rapping my lyrics out loud. It's just saying them like I'm talking.
Just being in motion.
Just
and
being in motion, dude, because it does take so much. Because not only are you having to remember all these words, push out all these words through your lungs, but you're also moving back and forth on stage. So I was really nervous about that the first time I did it at Dynasty. I was much less worried about it the second time at Dynasty, Texas. So yeah, I mean, you and Kidney Puncher, you guys helped get me out there. It was fun. It was a blast. I did you guys shout outs. I'm wearing KP's shirt right now.
Go. What's up, KP?
What's up, KP? Craig, what up, Craig? So I was super thankful for it. It was fun. I was there too long, you know. I was definitely there from Thursday to Monday. I should have been there Friday morning to Sunday night and come home.
Mm-hmm.
So that kind of beat me up a little bit emotionally because I just wanted to get home to my baby,
right?
You know, and just hang out with her. And I walked around downtown San Antonio. I literally walked 10 miles, and that's what was cool.
Damn.
That was actually my favorite part.
Did you have like a Fitbit? How'd you monitor that?
I had my phone.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
there
on my
go.
phone it was there, and it said I walked 10 miles. So I was like, holy shit!
Nice.
Like I couldn't have done that 3 months earlier.
Right.
So seeing that and realizing that the diet that I was on allowed me to do that, because I wouldn't have been able to do that, dude. I just sat down in a bar and never walked again.
Mm-hmm.
You know, literally, I walked that damn city so much the homeless people thought I was homeless because I had my backpack on and I'm sweating, dude, and I'm just huffing it back and forth everywhere. But it was cool, dude. It was sad in the sense of team free shit,
right?
You know, team free shit, team free shit, team free shit, and I really would like to work with the organizers of these events next time and be like, listen, let's give free shit out, get them all up here to the stage, give some free shit out. Hold the big stuff till after I perform.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what we used to do, because I used to rap in like church ministry and stuff.
Okay.
That's how they do it in the church ministry. You don't get fed until you listen to the message. You know what I'm saying? So
that's
what
right.
Yeah, it's about right, dude. If you go to a ministry thing, it's like, okay, we're going to give away free hot dogs and stuff, but you don't get them until you hear what we're saying, you know? Which is kind of trickery, but it works.
Hey, whatever you have to do to like get the message across and then deliver. I mean,
which is what I want to do. If I do it again, I don't know if it'll come up again or not. But if I ever get an opportunity to do it again, I'd really like to work it out to where we get the organizers to say, okay, we're going to do a few giveaways to get people up here, and then we'll give the big giveaway after they listen to this segment about advocacy. Because I'm delivering the advocacy message in a different realm, in a format that a lot of this younger culture can understand. You can understand every word that's coming out of my mouth, and it's going along to music, so it just kind of resonates a little bit better. So let's say there was probably 150 people up at the stage. As soon as I got up there and said the word advocacy, probably 100 of them left.
That's what's crazy too.
It sucks, dude.
I mean,
it sucks.
And you know, I honestly get the feedback too sometimes at my shops where people are just of the mindset and the sentiment that their voice isn't really going to change anything, or that whatever is going to happen inevitably of whatever the shops do, whatever consumers do. And I get that to some extent, especially when there's been so many efforts made over the last year or two. And I mean, it's hard to really calculate and put in a like empirical fashion like what's happened. You know, what is, you know, and that's why I love being a part of NAVB. And, you know, with you and all the other guys. Yes, that's right. That's right. I got to get used to that. I got to get used to that. But we've really been able to do things effectively on a local level. But yeah, I mean, consumers, you know, especially like I said before, you have the ones that are just like, hey, you know, whatever happens. Like, I'm just trying to quit smoking, you know, and be done with it. But then, of course, you have the passionate ones that care too. And those are the ones that really need to try and, you know, be involved and be engaged with. But at least on a local and state level, I definitely feel like our efforts have yielded positive results.
And nobody sees them, unfortunately.
Right.
You know, because we got people who work in the background, whether it's Danae or Will Cohen or your sister. You know, I know she met with a bunch of people also at one point. So nobody sees it. So it's kind of like a thankless job. And everybody thinks everything's getting taken care of. But we need people to be active and be a part of it and be thinking about it, you know?
Exactly.
Where do we go from there, man? That's a lot of information.
I know. Advocacy always ends up being kind of like a huge anchor point in our industry.
Well, for us, for people who care.
Yeah, exactly.
A lot of shops are out here just trying to make money. They don't give a shit about it. They're just making the money for as long as they can. And then whatever, if it goes away, they just continue selling cigarettes or whatever.
Yeah, no, not to name drop any shops, but I absolutely know of shops that have existed here in the Valley that have basically business models and business plans in place that it's, You know, they have easy exits from their leases.
Right.
You know, as soon as shit hits the fan, they're just like,
They're out.
cool,
Yep.
done. Made my money.
Right.
You know, it was a fun 2-year stretch, and now I'm on to the next thing.
Right. Right.
I
I guess that's business, though. You know.
yeah, it is. Absolutely. But I guess I always try and, you know, implore people to recognize what kind of shops you are giving your business and your dollars to.
Yep.
You know, who actually has, you know, the vested interest in seeing the industry and the market,
Yeah.
you know, thrive, be successful, and be available to you for years to come.
Right. So you can continue to not smoke.
Exactly.
Yep. Yeah, man. Well, it looks like we're coming up on an hour here, bro. That goes fast, huh?
Oh, there
Look
it
at
is.
that.
We're at an hour. That did actually go
Well,
really
shit,
fast.
dude. I love doing this stuff, dude. I just want to say thank you for coming out. Go ahead and give a little bit more information about your shops. So
Absolutely.
Just like Valor Vapor, right? Your locations.
Yep. So Valor Vapor again. And we have a shop in Phoenix, Tempe, Gilbert, new one out in Apache Junction for anybody watching this, way out in the East Valley.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean we've always prided ourselves, for anybody that's been into our shop, you know, on our juice game. And you know, like we talked about earlier, we did the moves of Sonoran so that we could continue to deliver those excellent products to everybody. In a clean lab facility in large batches for consistency, and you know, as we see it in the regulatory you know, detail there.
I might have to get my hands on some of that monkey nuts.
Dude, that's the award winner right there.
I know.
too.
I know. I'm just like, man, do I pick up monkey nuts, man? They're my competitors, but it
Bro,
sounds like it's good.
I'll give you a fire wholesale price.
All
too.
right, fire wholesale price. You guys
Fire
heard it here.
wholesale price.
All right, on Keith. I appreciate you coming out, dude. This has been fun, dude. This is my 4th episode. Well, hopefully it'll continue to grow. I think I have Sammy Alouche from White Cloud coming in next week.
That's right.
So that'll be
Nice.
cool. It's interesting because he's a hookah vape lounge kind
Right.
of guy.
No, it'll be interesting to get that kind of perspective.
Dude, the guy
you
is
know, and
so
how he's-
smart.
Yeah, I don't think I've met him.
You haven't met him, dude?
Maybe once. But
Really gentle, really loving, really caring guy, dude. Like, he gives a shit. Like, he's one of the guys, along with Matt Berger, that I'll just call up and be like, yo, what the fuck's going on?
Mhm.
And he will take the time out of his day to call me back up and be like, yo, this is what you got to do. This is what's going on. You know, don't worry about it. Don't drop your prices because you'll just choke yourself out of your business, you know.
Mhm.
He's been in hookah and smoke shop business for years, probably 15 years.
Oh shit! See,
So
I didn't
now
know you
he's
had
like
that historical
mostly-
side of
oh,
it
yeah,
too.
dude. So it's gonna be cool. It's gonna be a cool episode. So I'm super excited to see him. But as for now, man, I'm super excited and happy and thankful you came out. Thank you for the beer, dude.
Absolutely. Hey, Saturdays for the boys.
Saturdays for the boys, my man. All right, guys. Well, we're gonna end this episode at 1:02. My name is Luis, and this is
Keith Higgins.
and we'll see you guys next time at this old vape shop.